Hi, this is Christina again. So, I'm going to talk to you about the release work I just finished doing this weekend while I was working. So, like I said, I just got done with being off for a little while from work and just headed back into work. I work nights. So, and my job is historically a pretty stressful job. It's stressful for the people, not just the job itself, but it's a stressful group of people I work with. Not them personally. It's just the job itself. And it's a large group of people, so it enables maybe a stressful situation for all of us to be in. We're kind of crammed together doing this job. So, needless to say, heading back in, I decided to do it different this time. I was going to release my job before I went in there. Now, remember, releasing something before you go, and this is something I maybe forgot about or didn't even process. When I talk about releasing, you're releasing to get messages back so that you can learn. So you don't just go to work and go home. You go to work, you release it, you're releasing the job and the hours are there, and knowing that whichever you're releasing to get information back. So, I thought I was releasing it just to have a better shift. Turns out I was actually going to get information back, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but it's something you have to be ready for. So my shifts were very interesting. I'm not going to get into everything that happened, but I met some really great people. And I even met one person who said, you have a very godly appearance about you. And he said, he said, I mean it that as if you were conversing with God on a regular basis. You just have a better way about you. He said you're very down to earth kind of thing. I don't know. It's a long story, but anyway, it was kind of fun. I was like, this is working. Me being in line with my spirits and my God, whatever you want to call it, my universe. It shows. And other people mentioned the same thing. They said you really look good. You really look different. And I believe this is because, before I went, when I went to work, I wasn't doing this release. This was, still kind of created on my time off. So this was the first time going to work, doing a release, and also being active and releasing all the time, doing these, almost like meditative states. So anyway, needless to say, people did notice I looked different. They did notice that I acted different. But I wasn't prepared for all the information to come back at me and all the things I had to learn. And here's something that I've always known, but I maybe didn't act on. And one is that I tend to bring work home. I don't know why, but it's just something I do. I go to work, I come home, I talk about what my day was, my shift was like, how tense it was, how great it was, all the different things. And I don't let it go. I bring it home and I want to keep it. And so the first couple of days, although I released the work after I came home, I don't know that I was as serious about it as I was about releasing before going. And I realized quickly, it was a big lesson that I need to do it both ways. I need to go to, if I'm going to release, go before my shift, I do. Come home, I kind of break down that information, but I also release that quickly so that work doesn't come home. And this was a clear message to me when, this final shift, I came home and I just couldn't let it go. I felt like I kept trying to release the shift, but it wasn't working. It just didn't, it just kept lingering. All my thoughts were on what happened at work, not good or bad, just work. And, I was talking to my husband, I said, gosh, if I keep doing this, it's hard to have any other kind of life, because I go to work and I come home and then I'm still at work because I'm still thinking about work. I'm not, and he said, did you release it? And I said, I did, but I didn't release it in the sense of it's gone, it's over. I released it, I guess, or I didn't release it in a way that really let it go. I released it in a way that I could still think about it. And the problem is I can't have anything else. You are what you think about. And if all you think about is your job, then that's all you're going to create is your job, because you're going to come, you are what you think about. And if you go to work and you come home and you think about your job, then you're going to just create more of your job. And I don't want to be that person. I want to, a life outside of work. Work needs to be work and home needs to be home. And I want to create things at home. I want a great life at home. I want to build things with my husband and have a great relationship with my kids and my husband. And I don't want to come home for the first 2 days of work and feel like I'm still living at work and not sleep as well or whatever it does to me, which it does quite a bit. So this was the first time I've ever had this clear message that I have to release it and release it fully with faith, that I'm releasing it to my God, my universe, whatever it needs to be. I'm releasing it and I trust them to take it and do whatever they need to do. I'm protected. I'm loved. I am, beautiful. I'm everything. And the universe is going to take it and they're going to clean it up and they'll give it back to me in a way that it doesn't affect my daily life. It just improves my life. So, for instance, I met that man, so I'm going to release him. Later on, it comes back in another form of, yes, you look better, this is working, instead of saying, oh my God, I met this man at work. So, which keeps work there. Anyway, so that is a huge piece. If I can stress this to you enough, work needs to be work and home needs to be home. Even if you work at home or work, your work is to do with being home, they still need to be separated. And this message couldn't have come clearer to me. That no matter what happens, I have to release it. I have to trust, and so does anybody else. That if you're going to do this, you need to do it fully. And at least that is what I got. That I need to release my job. I need to come home and be with my family. If I need to talk about things a few minutes, obviously as I release things, I get information back and that I can talk about with my husband, but I need to make sure that that's separate from work. It's just something I got. So the other piece I got, so if you ask, I learned that, but what is the other thing I learned from being at work? And that's that I'm not always authentic. Work is obviously you put on a show. You are performing. No matter what job you're in, you are going to be performing. If you're having, most of us, I was taught to smile, be happy, be everybody's friend. It's just, you do what you do to be cordial at work and be work appropriate. And sometimes that causes you to be not as authentic as you should be. And I say that in the sense, you're not always going to agree with everybody. And sometimes you smile. Somebody will say something to you and you smile, or you agree with them when you don't mean to, or you don't want to, but you do it to be this cordial work person. And somewhere along the line, you have to find out how to stay true to your authentic self without hurting anybody or without offending anybody, but also not giving away your authentic self, even though you're being cordial. Now, that doesn't mean you come in ranting about, your political views, but if somebody says something that you truly don't agree with, you don't start a fight and you also don't agree with them, but you are authentic and figure out a way to be authentic with them. And this is a real problem I have, because the problem is, like, I will either side with someone I don't agree with, or I'll take sides against things, or I'll listen to gossip I don't want to listen to, because I'm trying to just play nice. I'm trying to just be nice and not be real, like not be authentic about my feelings and who I am and where I really stand on topics and what I will and won't put up with. I may treat somebody, I may, not agree with someone on their political views. I'm not going to bash them for that, but I'm also not going to tell them they're great. I'm just going to say, it's just not how I see it, but thanks for your opinion. In that way, I am not losing my authentic self in this self-imposed nice person work, thing. And I'm not losing who I am, because that is a big problem. When you are trying to be cordial and nice, you lose who you are. And, I've heard a lot of people say, well, when you're only just smiling and saying, yeah, you're not being real anymore. I mean, if someone says, how do you feel? And you say, oh, great, thank you. But you actually feel terrible. You're not authentic. You know, if you really don't feel well, you say, not as great today, thank you. And it's amazing, you don't want anything from them, but you also don't want to just smile and be nice. You're being real. You're being true to who you are. You know, just like, you know, you see somebody do something you don't like, and, you know, you walk, you know, you don't agree with something they do, you don't think they're doing it right, and a lot of times we just take the high road because we don't want to create waves, we don't want to create problems, and instead we need to say, you know, I don't agree with that, let's do something different. So those are the two big messages I really got, and this was about 3 days of a lot of release and take back, and talking about it. You know, that one, gotta leave work at home, and two, I've got to learn to be authentic and true when I'm at work or even in social situations, that I can't continue to just smile and be nice or just try to get through the thing. I need to be as real as I am, and by being authentic, that means you actually love who you are. This is being, you know, if you're hiding who you really are, and I don't mean like you're out there, you know, doing anything wrong, but, you know, like, I'm actually naturally kind of funny, and not that I don't have to watch what I say, but sometimes I hide that so that I don't offend people, because a lot of people don't like people who naturally want to smile and laugh, and so sometimes I'll pull back on that, but it is who I am, and I love that part of me, and it's fun, and if I'm hiding it to make somebody happy, then I'm not true to myself. So anyway, so I hope this helps somebody, and I would love to hear more about what's going on with you. Again, this is a community. I want to know how releasing is working for other people. This is not just about me. We're all getting different messages, different things from our releasing, and I would love to hear those. I want this to truly be an open community where everybody is free to talk about this safely and put themselves out there however you need to be, and tell me what successes you're having from it, because this is about having the best life through letting the universe take care of us. So, all right, thank you.